I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell politicians to give up the rooms. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth.
God, it's me. Can you hear my plea? Feeling like I'm lost in this world, can't you see? Demons creeping in, trying to take control of me. But I'm just trying to find the light, trying to break free. I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. But why do you keep forgetting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feeling like I'm on a leash. Can't find no peace, can't find no peace. Living in hell, can't you hear my plea? I'm suffocating, can't you see? Why you let these false prophets roam free? While the real ones suffer, can't you see? I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Why you keep targeting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feel like I'm on a leash, can't find no peace.
Hardest battles, strongest soldiers, greatest burden, broadest shoulders. Pushing up just like these boulders. This conflict like it's water, still this mercy. Take my chalice, seeking grace through all this malice. All these salty motherfuckers could give up.
Politics and sinners, they all the same. Got me stuck in the sinless game. But I won't give up, won't play the role. Gotta do what's best
for my soul.
I'm not perfect, God. Neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell these politicians to give up the room. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth. Living wild but truthfully free. God keep on watching over me. Take my pleas and keep the receipts. I just want all of humanity.
I got some, but I want more. House smelling like gun oil. Chasing after that fresh bread. In the bank like bonjour. Sorry, but I can't conform. Pistol on me like it's conjoined. Once I tell a nigga no, he forgot everything I done for him. Got mine, don't want yours. You little niggas ain't even right. Baby boy from the trenches, nigga, I curfew was a street light. Get it right, better keep it right. 2-clip trip, one and only. Thumper on me. Started with a Crown Vic when it got a 6 and I had a humble moment. Man, I wish we had more in common. Maybe then you'd understand what this mean to us. Money counter keep beeping like a nigga ringing up. Only thing I never had was sleep. Made a living off of bagging leaves. Sorry, I ain't got a conscience. I sell a half a pee to a Catholic priest. Streets turn me to a rabid beast. Back when we ain't have scratch to eat. Early bird get the bread, gotta be the first to come and the last to leave. Fat money don't last a week. Bitch, you ain't seen the last of me. You were looking at a giant, I don't know jack about no magic beans.
Well, I do. Matter of fact, look, I got something for sale. Snakes around my yard, I move with demons like I come from hell. Really got no type, my pretty fat hoe send me some from Zell. Never hope my thumper fail. Specialize in dumping bills. Appetite for smoker, Dula Mason, we the chimney gang. Trauma from my past, I turn down every street but memory lane. Memphis nigga, translation, quick to let that semen bang. R&B my motor, tap the gas, can hear that hymn and sing. Niggas fall for anything, wonder who gon' stand for something. Eddie B, sitting in the White House like I ran for something. AI with the light complexion, bump stock got a tan or something. Mama raised a gangster, told me never ask no man for nothing. Beat the block with the hot boys every day like I'm Manny Fresh. Money counter beef, she start moaning, make her panties wet. 2-3 after 2-3, clean up well, this my little nanny set. Double play the PG, I'm still with him cause he playing the best. GFM Olympic team, gold medals they ran with us. Showed them how to do it, went to work just like a handy truck. Heard the shit on suckers, LED bring out the candy guts. Never saw me sweat, keep it cooler than a Stanley Cup.
point about Minnesota regulatory agencies. So they're not performing their oversight job. Businesses don't have to register. They only enforce things on who they want to. There's tons of nonprofits and businesses that are not registered in the state. DBAs, you can go down the list. Churches registering as a DBA, whatever. Licensing, what I'm saying by the licensing not required is that's for construction, for professional services like mental health. You can go down the list. So unless somebody actually looks into it, they're not going to do anything. And half the time, they're not going to do anything anyway. I know with the mental health stuff, they did actually do something with Salem Inc. stuff. But there's a whole bunch of stuff like that that's going on, especially with the taxes and whatever else, right? And also for the housing. So the people working on housing aren't required to have licenses because the city won't even check it. They'll just sign off on it, right? And then the background checks for working with youth. I have a data request in for the city of Minneapolis Public Schools. They still haven't gotten back to me on anything with the background checks for New Salem's Educational Youth Initiative. Okay. DOL and federal housing guidelines not followed. Inspectors sign off anyway. For the Section 8 stuff, they just pencil whip it. And same thing for the city's individual rental housing laws. And I have a video where me and Chaz actually called out to one of the cities. And there's a smaller city. And they basically said as much, that they will allow us to fudge a whole bunch of stuff in order to be able to get people in there until we were able to get it up to code. No, it needs to be up to code. Okay, the Secretary of State, again, they're not registered or doing business as a different name. You have landlords, rental agencies, churches, nonprofits. The churches and nonprofits also run under a duplicate LLC. Mother's Love also has an LLC. Salem Inc. also has an LLC. That type of thing. Safe Streets is just a straight LLC. It's not a nonprofit. Yet they're getting bills directly apportioned to them, right? So direct grants loans to LLC orgs affiliated with Bill Author. Bobby Joe Champion is some of these people's actual lawyer. He has represented Flowers before. He has represented McAfee before, and a couple other ones. So, like, if you're doing up bills directly for, you know what I mean, and he's really involved with KMLJ and all that. Previously with CSI, that gets interesting. Please look up CSI. Bobby Joe Champion had an ethics investigation into him over CSI. The Republicans did not check to see whether or not this was done, because he didn't. Okay, he did not register with the Secretary of State. So his fiscal agent wasn't a part of that. For Clarence Hightower, that was a fiscal agent through all that debacle, right? And that was New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. Now they have True Vine, whatever. I have it on the other one, other slideshow, the exact name, and I can get that for you in a second here. Okay, the Bill's author staff works at nonprofit. They got the money. As Turning Point for one of them, they had a big thing about it. Well, it's not that she was working for them, but she was working for them during the time that they got the money portioned directly to them. Bill Author works with community orgs that push votes for them. They do grants for votes. Lack of oversight. LLC, nonprofit with the same name. Yep, and then no reporting and oversight requirements. Undue influence. The community org selected is not an open bidding process. They're based on previous involvement with Minnesota Heals 2.0 prior to the 2022 elections. The community orgs, they also contract with the Downtown Improvement District. I have a whole paper that I've written on that, which I can get you guys. I wrote it for my ethics class. About the undue influence and the legal problems and constitutional problems with how it runs, right? So it's not just my opinion. No, there's actual legal arguments behind it, right? In the Downtown Improvement District has an undue influence over the justice system. They have their own judge, prosecutor, etc. They also are able to tax, right? They levy taxes. They get the city to bite off on that. And the city's beholden to them. It's the reason why they have such a focus on Downtown Improvement District. Money's ever used for operations not in the community awarded for. They're not using the money as much in North Minneapolis and stuff like that for actually doing services. They'll do a small little bit there, and then they'll go do these other things where they're getting paid twice, because they're actually getting paid on top of their grant money. And known criminal affiliations. One of them being Shazma Dixon was their billing for New Salem, right? Now here's her stuff for where she did the fraud. And here's her involvement with 21 Days of Peace and New Salem. Okay. So, Marlon Ace Boogie Moore, another fraudster. He also ended up getting rid of evidence. He destroyed evidence in that. And you can go down the list. Here's the legislative update on that, right? And here he is signing for a contract with Minneapolis Schools as the CEO of Salem Inc. And here's their contract. Okay. The actual provider for the education services with with that, the individual they have on that isn't listed as an employee on the 990s. So that gets interesting. Okay. And open up another one here. Let me see if I can get this pull up. There we go. Okay, the Jones Day contract. So here's the thing: is Luger actually got a activist hired on to respond to some of the stuff and put pressure on the city. That was Leslie Raymond. Redmond. Yeah, Leslie Redmond. Here we go. And down at the bottom in the recommendations right here. Okay. They got together and they got Leslie Redmond, right, to be the community leader. Well, then they also went and they contracted with the city to respond to the complaints. Okay. Only a few of the lawyers had been found to be registered. They were based out of the Minnesota office. The rest lawyers were not, I haven't been able to find the registration. The contract was renewed under Yvette McGee Brown, and the top three minimum did not register. I have all the information there. Okay. And the contract stuff. And then you have these community guys who got in with that. Now, see, in 2022, Luger at Minnesota Heals 2.0 and met with many of these people. Okay, so these people were already selected ahead of time, and now they're getting the money. Okay, here's the different nonprofits. You can go look those up. Minnesota Safe Streets is a big one. Greater Mount Nebo. This was Flower's mom's church, and you can see right here at what I was saying on that. It's just a DBA as Al, his mom, and Joe Spratt. And here's the CSI stuff, right? New Bethel. Missionary Baptist Church doesn't exist. They made it True Vine, and they did that up later afterwards, much later. Here's the appropriations, right? New Youth Redevelopment. Shazma was a part of that. We have the documents on that. These guys get selected to become community leaders, and it gets interesting. So that's that. Hopefully that helps. If you guys need anything else, please let me know. And sorry about the delay in between the two, and I was trying to find the Leslie Raymond stuff. Hey, I'm just gonna real quick go through this PowerPoint.
He needs to focus on issue-based campaigning and reaching out to every single American and put the issues of relationship building at the front and center of the principle. The fact is, we should literally use politics to build community, and the problem has been the Democrats have used politics to just win elections. Did you not say that?
How much money has the Minneapolis Foundation put into y'all campaigns? Because we all know ex-Mayor Rybank runs that, or that there's park and board commission members on the board. Oh, what is that supposed to be? Oh, because I put too much out there? My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're just trying to. I'm sorry. Or let's talk about how you have people in your office elected to your campaign that is part of the feeding our futures. Yeah. Don't stop it.
That is
stop it.
That
stop
is
it.
over
Stop
$400
it.
million.
Stop it. Because all you got to do is look at 990 forms, and all you got to do is go to Open Secrets. It's all public information. The problem is people don't know what FOIA is, Freedom of Information Act, or they don't know what a data request is. We don't have the type of money that these people have, the news stations, to take y'all to court. So let's be honest, let's be real. Y'all don't want change. You go up here and lie. You say you're an ally. You know what that means? All lies. And I wish Sergeant at Arms would come. come up here to talk bullshit.
Stay-
Bullshit. Y'all
stay
talking
in
about
that
you want
spell.
change.
Over
All y'all
and
got
over.
blood on your hands. All
Over
y'all.
and over.
You don't want to be out here charging, because y'all knew where Nia Allen's killer worked, and y'all let her get away. Because the Minnesota Freedom Fund. The same thing with London Bean's killer. Come on, y'all don't want justice. You don't. Unless if it's black or brown, or they're poor. You don't want to do it for the rich, because I live in North Minneapolis, but I do deliveries.
Well, they're really not trying to stop crimes
Right.
anyways, because
Right.
if you live in North Minneapolis area and you call the police, they will not
They don't even show up.
for 3-4 hours or maybe not at all.
At all.
That's what we'll do. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we're trying to have our.
I'm trying to do shit. Why don't you answer to the people? Fuck mainstream media.
Unfortunately, these citizens are not gonna permit that. So we're just gonna move it to my office, to the Attorney General's office.
Now we
We're
go up
gonna
there
go
too.
there
We
too.
go up
We're
there
gonna go
too.
in there too, Keith.
That's why I brought this, Keith. That's why I brought this.
And next
Y'all-
time we'll be going to your home also.
Yeah, y'all, yeah, definitely, because we've been, you better be lucky that CARE and Minnesota Justice Coalition has been keeping us away from there, bitch ass nigga. And you ain't no nigga. You's a sellout, Uncle Ruckus ass nigga.
Just like Tamika Mallory
Uncle
said,
Ruckus.
all skinfolk ain't kinfolk.
Right.
Skinfolk ain't kinfolk. All power to the people.
The people united
will never be defeated.
Who shut that down?
Who shut
We
shit
shut that down.
We're out of the conference room right now. I'll be heading westbound in the hallway.
We're doing this all tonight, you're arrested. Now we're leaving, we can't make our point, we're leaving.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. The city has a new name, Murder-apolis. Not given by enemies, given by a t-shirt sold out of a gun shop on Chicago Avenue. The city earned it, 97 homicides in a single year. The worst it had ever been, the worst it would ever get. Historian Will Cooley spent years studying it. He pointed to 3 causes. One was the arrest of the man who had been keeping a lid on things, Pluky Duke. That is the part the press releases skip. When you remove the man running the operation, you do not end the operation. You remove the management. What comes next is chaos. Ralph Shavu Duke, known across the Twin Cities as Pluky, has been in federal prison since May of 1989. No prior criminal convictions, no murders ever connected to him. Model prisoner. He is around 80 years old now. The man whose testimony helped put him there, he went on to become a motivational speaker. I'm not making that up. And that's when you realize this isn't just a story about a drug dealer who got caught. This is a story about a trap that took 20 years to close, a trap that needed a lying informant to finally snap shut. a trap that left the city worse off than before. And the wild part, that trap was already being built long before Ralph Duke ever touched a gram of cocaine. St. Paul built the trap before Duke ever showed up to walk into it. There was a neighborhood called Rondo, the spine of Black St. Paul for most of the 20th century. Churches, businesses, homeowners, newspapers, baseball. A self-contained world built by people told they could not exist anywhere else in the city, not by choice, by design. Then the government decided to build a highway, Interstate 94, 1956 to 1968. The route did not go around Rondo, it went through it. More than 600 Black families lost their homes. Decades of community life demolished and replaced with an overpass. They did not rebuild. They knocked it down and moved on. That is not neglect. That is a policy decision. Into this economic wreckage, into a neighborhood the government built and walked away from, a kid comes up. We do not have a confirmed birth date for Ralph Duke in public records. What we have is the city that shaped him and the options it decided to make available. By his own account, Duke was in the drug trade by the 1970s. By his own account, he retired before the 80s and moved into legitimate business. Law enforcement did not believe the second part. The IRS, the FBI, and the DEA had been building a case against him since the 70s. 20 years of surveillance, dozens of failed attempts through informants. They could not get him, so eventually they stopped trying to get Ralph Duke and started trying to get his son. From 1984 through June 1989, Duke ran the most significant cocaine distribution network in Minnesota history. Not street corner dealing, a supply chain with nodes across 2 time zones. Duke sourced cocaine directly from a Colombian-affiliated network, receiving shipments in Houston or Los Angeles. Product was loaded into vehicles and driven cross-country to his estate in Delano. That is a suburb west of Minneapolis. Long driveway, quiet neighbors, enough square footage to move weight without drawing attention. From Delano, it dispersed to distributors across the Twin Cities. During a 6-month window in 1988, Duke and his Los Angeles partner were moving roughly 25 kilograms a week, each clearing between $600,000 and $1 million in that period alone. Over the full operation, federal prosecutors documented at least 173 kilograms distributed. The network included his son Monty, his nephew Lauren, who drove cars cross-country and delivered cash to dealerships for laundering, and a man named Joseph Ballard, who ran the interstate routes from the Delano house.
I built a Wix website overnight, and it helped launch my career as a sketch artist.
And at the edge of this thing connected through love, not ambition, a 19-year-old named Serena Nunn, Monty's girlfriend. She had just come home from her first college semester when she met him. She later wrote that drugs were so normalized in the inner city, she did not think twice. She was in love, she was 19 years old, and she had no idea she was standing at the edge of the largest drug prosecution in Minnesota history. Neither of those things would save her. 24 people would eventually be indicted. The sentence chart alone should raise your blood pressure. We will get there. 1989, spring. After roughly 20 years of failed attempts, 2 decades of surveillance and dry runs, the DEA changed strategy. Stopped going after Duke directly. Get his son. They brought in Andrew Chambers Jr. Chambers had started as a DEA informant in 1984. Former Marine, no college degree, walked into the DEA's St. Louis office wanting to fight drugs. They made him a freelance confidential informant. Over 16 years, he worked undercover in 31 cities, nearly 300 cases, 445 arrests, 1.5 tons of narcotics seized. The DEA paid him approximately $2.2 million directly, with total government compensation estimated near $4 million. One DEA official said, "In my career, I'll probably never come across another Andrew." What they did not mention, what they actively fought to keep secret for 2 years in federal court, was his arrest record. Multiple prior arrests, domestic assault, theft, forgery, soliciting prostitution. Government records would later put the number as high as 10. At trial after trial, Chambers testified under oath that he had never been arrested, never been convicted, did not use drugs, did not even drink. The prosecutor in the Duke case said exactly this in opening statement to the jury. All of it was false, but we are getting ahead. May 10th, 1989, Chambers meets Monty Nunn at a gas station. Monty gets in a car already wired with a hidden recorder. They drive for 2 hours, discussing 20 kilograms at $14,000 per kilo. May 17th, they meet at a car wash, drive to a Hilton hotel. Chambers opens his trunk. Monty inspects the product in a room wired for audio and video. That night, Monty arrives with $117,754, cash in a shoebox, wrapped in a green bag, arrested on the spot. The next morning, police execute simultaneous warrants at 4 of Duke's properties. Ralph Duke is taken into custody. He is 43 years old. Before any of this plays out in court, something happens that the legal record notes in a single flat sentence and then moves past, the way courts move past inconvenient human things. Monty Nunn broke down completely. The court declared a mistrial and committed him for psychological examination. A federal psychologist found he was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and that he had been for some time. His defense argued he was psychologically incapable of refusing his father, unable to break free of the operation he had been born into. That testimony was excluded. He was convicted at his second trial. I don't even know how to take that detail in without feeling how heavy it is. And the system, it processed it and moved right on to the next court date like it was nothing. October 1989. The trial opens. 1 month of testimony, recordings, family members on the stand. Duke is convicted on all counts. June 21st, 1990, Judge David Doty sentences Ralph Duke. 3 concurrent life sentences. Additional consecutive terms. Life plus 40 years. And here is what Doty said, because it has been buried in legal footnotes long enough. He told the courtroom that the sentence seemed very strong as compared to some other things that we know are illegal, such as murder. Then he said he had no choice. He must follow the law. A federal judge compared the drug sentence to murder, said the drug sentence was harsher, and imposed it anyway. Now look at what those same laws did to everyone else in the room. The case involved 24 defendants. Circuit Judge Heaney was so troubled by the outcome that he published a full sentencing breakdown in a federal court opinion. He wanted the record to reflect what had happened. Defendants who pleaded guilty and did not testify received between less than 1 year and 8 years. Serena Nunn, 19 years old, no prior record, peripheral to the operation, received 15 years and 8 months. And then there is Marvin McCaleb. McCaleb was Duke's Los Angeles partner, equal partner, same volume, split profits evenly. By his own admission, he had moved between 200 and 500 kilograms a month at his peak. Marvin McCaleb, prior convictions for manslaughter and rape. McCaleb cooperated with the government.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello, my name.
In return, he was charged in California under pre-guidelines rules instead of Minnesota. Sentenced to 5 to 40 years, eligible for parole after 1/3. Judge Heaney wrote in his published opinion, "The statistics compiled by the Sentencing Commission will never show the disparity wrought here. The man with priors for manslaughter and rape cooperated and walked. The first-time offender stayed silent and got life. 7 weeks after sentencing, law enforcement put up a billboard to celebrate. It was covered by the Star Tribune on August 12, 1990, page 33. They had chased this man for 20 years, and they wanted the city to see what they had caught. Duke has been filing appeals since the day of conviction. 1991, 8th Circuit affirms, with one minor exception on double jeopardy grounds. 1995, Duke files for post-conviction relief based on Chambers' concealed arrest record. The 8th Circuit calls the government's conduct unacceptable, then affirms anyway. Enough other evidence existed, the court ruled that the lie about Chambers likely did not change the jury's verdict, so the lie is condemned. The conviction holds. In 2000, the full scope of Chambers' deception finally goes public. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch obtains the DEA's internal investigation report. It confirms Chambers repeatedly lied in court, inflated his background, falsely claimed to pay taxes on government income. The DEA had fought 2 years in court to keep those records sealed. Nobody was disciplined. The DEA said it was a failure of policy, not personnel. Chambers moved to Champaign, Illinois. He became a motivational speaker. I mentioned that already. It still bothers me every time I type it. 2016, a retroactive guideline amendment reduces Duke's drug sentence. For a moment, he has technically served it with good time credit. It does not last. The vacated firearms counts trigger a full resentencing. February 2018. Duke, age 72, stands before Judge Doty. Same judge, same courtroom. 28 years later, Doty sentences him to life again. July 2019, the 8th Circuit affirms. The court acknowledges Duke's rehabilitation, his model record, finds it insufficient to overcome the magnitude of the original offense. Duke had asked for time served, 396 months, 33 years. The answer was no. Meanwhile, Serena Nunn. In 2000, President Clinton commuted her sentence after a lawyer named Sam Sheldon read about her in the Star Tribune and took the case pro bono. Letters of support came from the prosecutor who convicted her, from Governor Jesse Ventura, and from Judge Doty himself, who wrote to the president, If mandatory minimum sentencing did not exist, no judge in America, including me, would have ever sentenced Ms. Nunn to 15 years. She enrolled at Arizona State University 4 days after release, graduated the University of Michigan Law School in 2006, sworn into the Georgia State Bar in November of 2012. Doty wrote a letter to free the 19-year-old. He sentenced the principal to life twice. Minneapolis, 1995, 97 homicides. The operation Duke had kept structured, fragmented into smaller operators. No incentive for stability, competing for turf, settling debts the only way of vacuum permits. I am not arguing Duke was without fault. The cocaine was real, the network was real, the people pulled into addiction, their suffering was real, and it deserves to be said plainly. But I am asking one specific question the government has never been required to answer. Did it work? The man who ran the operation got life. His equal partner, more violent, more product by his own admission, cooperated and walked. The informant lied under oath, earned $4 million in government money, and hit the speaking circuit. The 19-year-old got 11 years and became a lawyer. The city hit its worst murder rate 6 years after the big arrest. The DEA vowed never to use Chambers again, then quietly brought him back 8 years later in 2008. Another case immediately collapsed. 3 names, no commentary required. Marvin McCaleb, prior convictions for manslaughter and rape, equal partner in the operation, cooperated, free. Serena Nunn, 19 years old, no prior record, 11 years served, commuted by a president, now a lawyer in Atlanta. Ralph Shavu Duke, no prior convictions, no murders ever connected to him, did not cooperate, still in federal prison, the longest serving defendant from his own case by a significant distance. The trap was built in the 1950s when the government tore through Rondo with a highway and called it progress, reinforced through decades of redlining and abandoned streets, sprung in a Hilton parking lot in '89 by a man the government later admitted had been lying the whole time, locked by a judge who said aloud the sentence was too harsh and imposed it anyway. Ralph Duke walked into that trap. In many ways, he was born inside it. He is still there. Nobody put up a billboard for that.
Hey, finesse. Two of them. Let me get that. I'm going crazy for this motherfucker. Hey, yo, Saki, pull up. I just had a threesome with my second baby mama, and my first baby mama want me back now. I ain't fucking with him, used to be a real nigga, but the word on the streets, he a rat now. Did 5 years in the cell, fuck that. I ain't got no time to relax now. 50 for a show, I ain't gotta sell crack now. I ain't trying to beef, I'm just trying to get him whack now. I just had a threesome with my second baby mama, and my first baby mama want me back now. I ain't fucking with him, used to be a real nigga, but the word on the streets, he a rat now. Did 5 years in the cell, fuck that. I ain't got no time to relax now. 50 for a show, I ain't gotta sell crack now. I ain't trying to beef, I'm just trying